Music has played a big role in our lives for many generations, from the 1700s to now, 2014. However, in that time, our music has evolved and changed drastically. With each new decade comes new styles and trends. Our music follows these same trends, and with each year that we change, so does our music sense.
My name is Mark Hardy. I'm 52. My musical background, let me see. I started playing drums when I was in elementary school, and I played in a parade marching band. I used to get lost all the time because at the end of the parade I would just kind of wander off. My parents would have to find me.
People who grew up in the 1900s typically like older music because they can relate to it. People in the 21st century typically like the newer music because that's what they grew up with. However, this poses a big question. Which one is better? Does one take more talent than the other? What really are the differences between our modern musics and our older tunes? We have your answers.
I started playing jazz drums. My influences were a guy named Buddy Rich, who was a jazz drummer. And when I was in middle school, we formed a rock band, and I was the drummer, and sometimes I sang too.
Typical older rock beats, like the one demonstrated by Mark, are known for their use of many drums, their complexities, and their diversities. Typical modern pop beats are known for their simplicity and consistency. Technology has had a big influence on our music. Newer songs can be completely synthesized. Singers don't even need to be good, as they can be auto-tuned. Back in the older days, access to technology was very limited. Therefore, when music was played, it could not be digitally edited or filtered in order to make it sound better. The most technology consisted of mixers to cycle the microphones through and adjust volumes, and of course amps to amplify the instruments. Bands back then used full drum sets for beats, real guitars for soloing and strumming, real basses for the low sound that every band needs, and a keyboard which would connect to an amp as well. However, sometimes the regular piano was used.
Music. I like rock music that has a dance beat.
I prefer listening to newer music than older music because it's more upbeat.
It doesn't really matter to me if the music is older or newer, as long as it sounds good.
I like both types of music, so I don't think I really have a preference on that.
Nowadays, these instruments can be manipulated by synthesizers. Synthesizers can manipulate drum beats, guitars, basses, keyboards, and even vocals. This poses a very big question. Do we even need bands anymore? One of the biggest arguments that needs to be cleared is the talent issue. Does newer or older music take more talent generally? Well, we were able to see that drum beats are typically more complex in the older era, and the newer era consists of more simpler beats. However, this does not mean that older music takes more musical talent. Modern audio producers are very talented, even if his music does not feature musically gifted people. They have the talent to not only record the artist, but they have the talent and the ear to add and enhance sounds by collaging them together, adding drums, and many other difficult things. So maybe there's not as much musical talent, but there's definitely a lot of technological talent, which was not around in the older eras. So each take a lot of talent, but in different fields. So maybe the question isn't really which generation of music takes more talent, or which generation is better, but really, what are the main differences that older music and newer music have? Because our newer music is really older music, but it's older music of the future. Everyone has their preferences and opinions, and we hope this has given you something to think about. Newer and older music are unique, and each take a lot of talent in their own ways. So instead of worrying about which one is better, try and appreciate each generation of music for their unique and diverse musical properties. Each generation has music, and it's only going to keep evolving. So get used to the new and remember the old for what they both truly were and are. Unique.